Hang that up for me now, Veronica demanded, carelessly tossing her jacket toward Maria as she strode into the office engrossed in her phone call. Without even glancing up, Veronica continued her conversation. "Yeah, no, sorry, David, I was just talking to the bank's receptionist. Actually, Mrs. Langford, I'm not." Maria began politely, trying to clear the confusion. Excuse me, I'm going to call. Who taught you your manners? Before we continue, what country or city are you tuning in from? Drop it in the comments below. We love seeing where you're watching from, and if you believe in standing up against entitlement, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories just like this. "This is an important call," Veronica snapped, dismissing Maria with an irritated wave. "Didn't I ask you to hang that up?" Maria took a calming breath, biting back frustration. "You did. But like I was saying, no buts. Today is not the day for excuses and laziness. Now just do what I ask." Veronica interrupted sharply. "Have you ever been mistaken for someone you're not? How would you handle such disrespect?" Maria maintained her composure, silently hung up the coat and turned back, only to see Veronica snapping her fingers at her again. "Go and fetch me a coffee. While you're at it, milk and 2 sugars. Maria raised an eyebrow, slightly, responding slowly. "You want me to bring you coffee?" Veronica barely acknowledged her question, replying dismissively, "Yes, that's what you people do, isn't it? Now go on." Taking another studying breath, Maria replied calmly, "Very well, please wait in the conference room." Veronica ignored her completely, holding up her finger to silence Maria as she resumed her call. "Sorry again, David. I just arrived at the merger closing." "Yeah, that's right. I'm waiting for the CEO and the bank manager to sign off on the deal. This deal is not just going to save the company, it's going to make me rich." She laughed confidently. "Not bad for a Tuesday." Maria soon returned, placing the coffee on the table and attempting again to clarify. "Here you go, Mrs. Langford. You know, it's kind of funny. I think you may have been confused earlier. I don't usually do this sort of thing." Veronica waved her off again, this time even more dismissively. The thing about that is no one cares, least of all me." She eyed Maria critically. "Must you hover like that?" "Yeah, don't stand so close." Veronica took a sip of the coffee and immediately spat it out, narrowly missing Maria's shoes. "Oh, I said oat milk. Are you deaf? Are you actually trying to kill me? You said milk and 2 sugars. Maria gently reminded her. "Rule number 1 of being a good assistant: never talk back to your superior." Veronica snapped. "Now make it again, and get it right this time. Today is extremely important for me and my company. What I need to be doing right now is prepping, not taking care of a nitwit receptionist." "Like I'm not a receptionist," Maria finally interjected firmly, but Veronica barely paused, her voice dripping with condescension. "Fine, an assistant, whatever the PC police want to call you these days. The point is you're here to make my job easier, not harder." Maria's eyes flashed briefly, irritation simmering beneath her calm exterior. "What I'm trying to explain is that's actually not my job." Veronica interrupted yet again, her tone cutting. "What did I tell you about talking back? Yes, you work for the bank, but right now I am the bank's biggest customer, which means you work for me. If you just shut up and sit down, maybe you'd learn something from your better, my better." "You're not my better," Maria countered, voice steady but firm. Veronica leaned forward, arrogance radiating off her every word. "Oh yes, in fact I am." The tension in the room grew thick, signaling that things were about to get even more heated. Veronica leaned forward, arrogance radiating off her every word. "Oh yes, in fact I am. I graduated from Michigan, got my MBA from Stanford, and built a Fortune 500 company. That wasn't luck, that was talent and hard work. And by looking at you, I don't think you ever went to college nor probably graduated from one. I can also tell that you've never taken a real risk in your life or poured your heart and soul into building a company from scratch. And as a result, you're now here working this minimum wage job that a trained beagle could do. So yes, I am by every definition better than you." Maria responded calmly but pointedly. "You know, you really shouldn't rush to judgment about people. It has a way of coming back to bite you." Veronica waved her off dismissively. "I'm in about 20 minutes. I'm going to sign a deal that's worth tens of millions, and I don't have to care about what someone like you thinks of me." Just then Veronica's phone rang again, and she quickly picked up. "This is Veronica. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the CEO and the bank manager to show up, which means I've been stuck here dealing with this idiotic receptionist. Oh, sorry, assistant all morning who's done nothing but keep me from my work." Turning sharply to Maria, she snapped, "Can you go make yourself useful and tell your boss I'm still waiting here instead of standing there like a mouth-breathing." Veronica continued, loudly detailing Maria's supposed incompetence. Moments later, Mr. Harris, the bank manager, entered the room, smiling apologetically. "Sorry to keep you waiting." Veronica instantly changed her demeanor, responding warmly, "Oh, no trouble at all. I'm just excited to make this merger official." Mr. Harris glanced around puzzled, whereas Mrs. Carter. Veronica feigned innocence, replying, "Oh, I was actually hoping you could tell me. I wanted to spend a few minutes with her before we got started, but she must be running behind." "Strange," Mr. Harris remarked. My assistant said she arrived even before you did. Seizing the moment, Veronica complained, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but now that you mention it, that assistant of yours is terrible at her job. She was rude and argumentative. While I was trying to make a phone call, if I were you, I would seriously consider firing her and finding a much more competent replacement. Just then Maria confidently walked into the room. Mr. Harris smiled warmly at her. Ah, there she is now. So nice to see you again, Maria. Maria replied calmly, likewise. In shock, Veronica stammered, You're Maria Carter. Maria sarcastically echoed. Mrs. Langford. Veronica, suddenly panicked, blurted out, What? Why didn't you say anything? I actually tried to. Maria started, but Veronica interrupted again. No, you didn't. I would have remembered. Veronica insisted desperately. Maria firmly responded, I did, but you were too busy making assumptions about me based on my age and skin color to listen. No, that's not true. If I'd known, I would never have said any of those things. Veronica protested. Maria laughed softly, shaking her head. That makes it even worse. You took one look at me and assumed you knew exactly what I was and wasn't capable of. Have you ever made assumptions about someone only to regret it later? How would you handle being in Maria's shoes right now? Maria let the silence hang just long enough to land with weight, then calmly continued. But the thing is, you were all wrong about that. Let me tell you the truth about who I am. Not only did I go to college, I graduated at the top of my class from Yale, then earned my MBA from Harvard, all while starting my own company with less than $100 to my name. That was 10 years before you even launched your little operation. By the way, Veronica blinked stunned as Maria stepped forward, and since then Maria continued, my company has outperformed yours tenfold with stronger sales, a higher market cap, and triple the growth now. I wonder why that is. Could it be that I actually know how to run a business better than you ever could? Maria wasn't done. Her voice stayed steady, clear. And while we're telling the truth, everyone here already knows you didn't build your business from the ground up like you claimed I did. You got a $3 million head start from your grandfather, and even with that, you nearly ran it into the ground. Veronica's mouth hung open, her face drained of color. Maria leaned in slightly. That's why you're here today, begging someone who looks like me to save what you nearly destroyed. And that is the truth about who I am. Have you ever had someone underestimate you only to find out you were 10 steps ahead? What would you do if you were in Maria's position? And if you think Maria just earned a standing ovation, go ahead and like this video and subscribe for more moments like this. Just then Mr. Harris interjected gently, still unsure how to process what he was witnessing. Excuse me, is there some kind of problem with the deal? Because all of us here at the bank are thrilled with the long-term growth projections when this merger goes through. Veronica latched onto his words like a lifeline. Yeah, that's right. This is a really good deal for both of our companies. And you know, we started off on a rocky foot, but you need me just as much as I need you. So what do you say we toss all this out and start fresh? Let's sign this deal. What do you say? She extended her hand to Maria, smiling nervously. Maria smiled, but not how Veronica expected. You're right, this is a good deal for both our companies, and just a few moments ago it became an even better one after I made a few last-minute alterations. Veronica's expression flickered. What sort of alterations? Maria looked her dead in the eye. I just got off the phone with your board of directors. I told them in no uncertain terms that I was prepared to walk away from this deal unless you were removed from your position. Veronica froze, then suddenly screeched, You can't fire me. Maria, fully composed, didn't flinch. Right again, I can't, but your board can. And they did. Turns out your own board thinks I can do a better job running your company than you did. At that exact moment, Veronica's phone buzzed. She looked down, her face twisted in horror. The notification on her screen read, Employment terminated effective immediately. Her breathing grew frantic. This is outrageous. You can't do this to me, she shouted. Then she turned to Mr. Harris. Jerry, my company needs me at my fullest potential. If she fires me, it's going to be a disaster for both companies and the bank. Mr. Harris replied, measured and cool. Actually, Mrs. Langford, the only variable in our risk assessment was your continued tenure as CEO. Maria turned to her with a smirk. What he's saying is the bank's only surprise is that you weren't fired for cause sooner. Veronica's face turned crimson as the room fell silent again, the reality sinking in fast. Veronica's breathing turned erratic as the truth finally settled in. How dare you? She hissed, voice shaking. Maria raised her hand and snapped her fingers calmly. Mr. Harris turned slightly toward the door. Oh, Greg, just in time. Please show Miss Langford to the exit. From the hallway, a security officer stepped in, tall, stone-faced, and clearly expecting trouble. He nodded and moved forward without a word. Veronica backed up instinctively. You can't do this to me. This is my company. I started this deal. Greg stopped just short of her, giving her a look that said she had two choices, walk or be walked. Let's go, ma'am, he said firmly. Veronica screamed one last time as she was guided toward the door, her voice echoing off the walls. You'll regret this. You can't do this to me, she thrashed. Tried to turn back, but Greg never flinched, one hand lightly guiding her elbow. He calmly escorted her right out the room, and just like that she was gone. The room stayed quiet for a long moment. Maria looked at Mr. Harris, then the remaining executives. All eyes were on her now. She exhaled, then straightened her blazer. Shall we begin? And if that final moment gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a takedown this satisfying.